This is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel, back here at Nomad RVs in Toms River, New Jersey. Today I met up with Steve and he's going to show us his newest camper creation, so join us.
Patrick, appreciate you coming back to check out this customer's van. This is the Castaway 22EL. That is for the Euroloft. You'll see that in the back. This is a Sprinter 170, it's brand new, RVA certified. It is all-wheel drive. We have the running boards we've been using super often. They're great stuff. The bug screen you always see from Van Essentials from us, it's rolled up just for an easy video. And this one, first time we're doing a pneumatic awning. It's power awning, still uses legs, but it's got a power strip there for the light too. And this goes in and out super easily. We'll mount the switch somewhere inside the remote when the customer picks it up later this week. When we step inside, you'll see they chose a beautiful floor. We have tons of options for flooring. Underneath that, as always, is our 3/4 inch subfloor, then the insulation below. So a great waterproof floor they chose. When we do our vans, we order everything pretty maxed out from the factory, 10.25 screen, navigation, 360 camera, all that fun stuff. This one even had the chrome grille option, which is pretty nice. Factory swivel seats, which are the best in the business. Above that, we're always doing our vanlife components. Headliner shelf has an option to put a curtain across if you so choose. And then there's Van Essentials insulated blackouts for every single window in this van. You'll see it has a bunch of windows. This customer chose to have additional seating for their niece and nephew or friends because this is a fly fishing toy for them. So they like going off-grid, fly fishing in remote areas. So they want to be able to bring friends when they do it, or their niece and nephew if need be. You know, and this folds easily out of the way. Probably how it ends up most of the time, especially if you're at camper ready, because they have a great split dinette in the back. And then there were some outlets and USB chargings back there too. They chose all push lock latches, black. You can see their aesthetics here. So you got great storage up above, clothes and whatnot. While we're looking above in this area, cedar ceiling, thin slate insulation in the ceiling, thin slate insulation double in the walls, dimmable LED lights, max air fan. There's a Nomadic Cooling X2, that's a 12-volt air conditioning, super efficient, awesome stuff. And then because they want to put a ton of gear up top and they have a roof box, they only chose to go with 200 watts of solar. We could have done like 525 watts on this one, but again, they're doing some other stuff up there. Continuing down the driver's side, they went with the NovaCool 6400. So you have the fridge up above, and then it has a massive freezer down below too. You know, separate fridge and freezer, pretty awesome stuff. And then this is the modern appliance. It is an air fry convection oven microwave, 1.1 cubic foot, quite big. You can see it's brand new, obviously, but awesome stuff. Then all the venting. As we jump to the passenger side, so they wanted to do a dark walnut. They liked, this is an iron ore paint, so they wanted a dark aesthetics, stuff they have in their house. This here is a huge leaf. Reason is the passenger seat can power forward a bunch and you'll be able to get a little bit access to it. Plus, we kept this pretty open with the bench seating, so this is just a big extension for them. You have a 15 by 15 sink, fairly deep, easy to wash everything, little racks, so you don't beat it up. Bamboo cutting board. You're going to have your sponge spot. Below there is your sink. That's where your induction cooktop lives. You can put a little garbage can if you so choose, or bigger pots and pans, but they have a lot more storage everywhere else too. So 3 big drawers. Show you a couple of them, super deep. The bottom one's even deeper. Top one's a little more normal size. And then you're going to see down here, they chose to do a charging drawer. That's why there's USBs here. Even though there's USB up above, they wanted to maybe not keep the top cluttered. So an option just to put their iPads and miscellaneous items in here to charge up. And then you'll see another fairly large storage area too. On the back wall, you're going to see the 7-inch GX touchscreen. That's going to show all your freshwater, your waste, everything that's happening power-wise. There's a few modes to go through if you so chose to. And it's also how you're going to turn your inverter on and off. What that's going to do is they kept their Starlink 120 volts, so when you want the Starlink on, that's on, any outlet or your microwave there. And then we have our regular switches, water pump, our water heater, and our dump valve. Everything drains to a 20-gallon gray tank. This has a 28-gallon fresh tank underneath the tire, the spare tire location. And then you have some dimmable lights and additional outlets on the back here. Additional storage above. You'll see here, this is the access panel for that, the power remote for your awning. So in case you ever need access to it, it lives behind there. As we jump to the back, you'll see they have a split dinette. We've done U-shapes in the past. They wanted a full pass-through right outside. So it's a Euro loft above me. These are 3-inch umbrella cushions. This does turn into a bed. There's bed rails down here. To so choose to do that. They have 2 big dogs. So this is actually where the dogs are probably going to be sleeping during the day, or I'm sorry, at night. And then they'll drop that Euro loft to sleep, themselves. Super big table here. You can move it all around, to get pretty much access anywhere, depending what they wanted to do. You're going to see sliding windows on each side. So they wanted a real open feel. So we have AM auto, sliding windows with screens on both sides. Could be amazing cross breeze back here. Super open feeling with all the windows while you're hanging out, even if it was a crappy day out. You're going to have more charging, more USBs on both sides there. You're going to have the heater control, this SPAR S2D2 heater that runs off your diesel. So if you're less than a quarter tank, it won't run, so you don't leave you stranded. Keep it super warm in here. Underneath where I'm sitting, this is your full power side. 810 amp hours, about a born lithium. All your Victron components like the inverter charger, solar controllers, DC chargers for when you're driving, all that stuff. So that lives on this side. Underneath this side, you have your SPAR heater, 2.5 gallon, 12 volt water heater, and then small storage. The storage here on this side is really only for your power cord, your hoses, and stuff like that. And then you're gonna have your key. The key here is for the Euroloft. They chose to keep it in kind of a discreet area. So that key lives wherever you want it, and then there's buttons to bring it up and down. And before we even drop this, so another cedar ceiling, dimmable lights here. The reason we chose to put these dead center is because you see L-tracks on both sides. These L-tracks are going to house Patagonia bags, so 40-liter bags. There's roof locker pieces that go on there once we know how to position them for the customer, and 3 bags on each side, so they have massive additional storage for clothes and all that stuff. So you'll see, super easy to drop the bed. I don't want to go too far where I hit the table, but now you have a bed up top here. You're going to have night lights in the back, just so you have some light back there, and you sleep north to south on this, so if you have to get up for the middle of the night, you don't have to worry about it. And then you'll see how it comes from the factory, slatted, how the system goes. So these systems are allowed to cut and finagle and configure the way we need to on certain customers. So you'll see that they kind of prioritized the fridge and stuff like that for when they're fishing. They wanted a seat up front, and you'll see how we shrunk a few things. So they're shorter people. This is a 70-inch long bed where you can do 75 and things have to shift forward. And then they chose to go with a smaller shower. So this is a 24 by 32. You've probably always ever seen the 36s by us, but hot and cold water, shut off switch there for when you're showering. Cassette toilet, it's more or less an emergency for them. They're not living this again. It's just a way for them to go fly fishing and have fun and be outdoors for maybe a long weekend or a week, and then your Nautilus self-scrubbing shower door, and then another dimmable light in there. Tiles here, it's always Palisade tiles, so super lightweight, super durable. You could drill in these and attach things to them if you wanted to, clotheslines and stuff like that, but lightweight, kind of like the PVC you have on, if you saw the white PVC rails on a deck. Same type of material that's making this, so super durable, super waterproof, and then the way we install it is extra waterproof, and we have waterproof behind it and all that stuff, based off what's needed. So briefly mentioned, you're outside here, so it's an AM auto sliding window. The same windows that are in the back, they got screens on the inside. This customer chose to have an outdoor outlet here, so it's GFI protected and on its own breaker in the back, so there's no issues. That's just more stuff for them for toys. Flatline Vanco tire carrier. They chose not to have anything on this side due to fitting into a barn on their property. So they have some restrictions there. And then back here, you're gonna have a switch here. This is gonna heat both tanks. So if you're cold weather camping, it's gonna heat your gray tank and your fresh tank. There's also some heat tape on the water line, so there's no issues there. So that switch is heating a whole bunch of stuff, so there's no issues with water. This is how you're filling the tank. This is gonna go through the floor and fill that tank all the way there, gravity fed. You have an outdoor shower. So hot and cold. Here you got super easy access, whether you're inside or outside, all your 12-volt fuses, all your 120 breakers. While you're filling that tank, you can check your levels. So instead of having to go inside to see everything, you check your levels right here. And if you wanted to check your batteries there too. Just ventilation, just to help airflow inside that cabin with all that fun stuff. You come around the side. This is now the driver's side. Again, this is what the other window looks like. You have your shore power hookup. And then they chose to also, if they want to be on grid, everything you see here would be on grid. So shore power hookup, and then the fresh water, so what they call city water. So that bypasses the tank, and then you can do city water with the pressure from there with a pressure regulator and have everything without the water pump usage. You'll see the exhausts for the Espar heater. You're gonna have a ladder here. This is gonna get them access to the roof box. So the solar panels are skinny panels on the very front, the slimline panels. Well, this will give them access to their roof locker, which is pretty large. I think it's 75 by 36 wide, so pretty massive roof storage up there. You're gonna see a unfinished gray tank. Again, we have to spray that with our underliner that we do at the end here now that it's outside. But that will fully protect it. It's a 3M undercoat spray. And then you'll have a dump valve up front that just protects everything when we're done with all of that. And you'll see an entry step for your driver's side, which mimics the passenger side, but you don't need to have the full length because there's no sliding door. Something like this starts around 78 to 80,000 roughly. Upgrades you'll see will be like the ladder, the extra battery, the seating in the very front. But for this customer is probably into this somewhere around 85 if I had to take a guess without looking at the full contract, with a few options that they added. And then again, this is that Castaway 22EL that gives you that Euro loft in the back.
Thank you very much for the tour today, Steve. This is an awesome van. I love that Euro loft. It makes a lot of sense to get that bed out of your way, but you still have the dinette. And the pricing you mentioned, the van was separate, right? That was a separate purchase for this particular situation?
Yep. Yeah, so when we do RVA certified, the van's always separate. We purchase the van. You purchase everything at once. That way it's titled as a Class B from the beginning. So I was going to say motorhome in the title, not cargo van for this customer.
Okay. So what's the total cost for something like this?
This van was right around 78. So, the rate to it, maybe like 163, 164, something like that.
Awesome. I love it. You did a great job. This is the 22-foot platform, so you can still park in a smaller parking spot, hang a little bit over the curb.
Yep. Yeah. Basically, what happens is it's kind of like say an F-250, 350. It's a crew cab long bed, so it looks massive, but it's not much bigger than a big pickup truck.
Awesome. I'll put links in the description so you guys could check out his website and his social media. This is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. I'll see you soon.
Appreciate it, Patrick.